Good evening. On behalf of the Hopkinton Women's Club, welcome to the 37th annual Meet the Candidates Night. My name is Kathy Hebden, and I'll be the moderator for this evening's program. The Hopkinton Women's Club was founded in 1920 when women were just gaining the right to vote. Each year, with the exception of 2020, we organize Candidates Night to help all citizens decide who to cast their ballot for in the upcoming town election. We always welcome new members to the Women's Club and encourage anyone interested in our scholarship and community service organization to visit our website at hopkintonwomensclub.org. Our format this evening begins with an opening statement from each candidate. Everyone will have 2 minutes for their remarks. The timers tonight include student volunteers from Hopkinton High, Quinn McHugh and Ellie Power. They will periodically notify candidates of how much speaking time is left. And when necessary, they'll ring a bell to signify the end of 2 minutes, and we'll move on. On to our first candidate, in alphabetical order on the program. For town clerk, for the 3-year position, voters may choose one. Connor Deegan, the incumbent.
Thank you very much for having us, Kathy, and to all the members of the Women's Club for hosting this again. And thank you to HCAM for hosting this. This is just a great example of how we come together as a community to really showcase what kind of talent the volunteers in our community have to offer. I'm Connor Deegan. I have been your town clerk since 2016. It's been truly an honor to do so. In that time, I've had the pleasure of working with our scouting organizations in the community for civic education, working with our schools, and to ensure that everyone has easy access to elections and voting, as well as working with other community leaders to get electronic voting for town meetings. I look forward to continuing to work with all of you to continue making Hopkinton the wonderful place it is and keep bringing it into the future while making it such a wonderful and charming place to live. Thank you very much, and I really hope that you'll consider still, even uncontested, casting your vote for me. Thank you.
Thank you. For Select Board, for 3 years, there are 2 openings. Jeffrey Doyle.
Thank you to the Hopkinton Women's Club for putting this on. Thank you to everyone in attendance for joining, and thank you to everyone watching online. A little bit about myself. My name's Jeff Doyle. My family's been here for almost 100 years now. My great-grandfather moved here in the 1930s. My grandfather was a math teacher, a football coach, and an athletic director. My father was youth sports coach, Green Sustainability Committee, and now volunteers on the Hopkinton Historical Society. And myself, I'm in cybersecurity sales. I've been in that for 10 years with a big focus on getting things done. One of the main questions I've been asked is why are you running now, right? What's drawn you to this? I think last year going into the election, there was a lot of buzz around the challenges from the town, not feeling like they were being heard. I think over the past year that has changed and everything's headed in the right direction and the town does feel heard, and I just want to make sure that that continues on the right direction of listening to the folks of the town. There's a couple of big decisions coming ahead, one being water supply. So at current spending, I think my focus is having a select board that is focused on the future of the town. As I mentioned, my family's been here for about 100 years. I plan to be here for as long as I live. I hope that I'm lucky enough to have my daughter move back to town as I grow older, and I hope to continue that tradition for the long run. So what you're looking for is somebody that is a local, that wants to focus on the roots of town as it moves forward, and that's the candidate that I'll be. Thank you.
Thank you. Matthew T. Kisner.
Thank you. Let me start by thanking the Hopkinton Women's Club for putting this event together and for our friends at HCAM for connecting us into the community. My name is Matthew Kisner, and I'm here to share a little bit tonight about myself and my vision for the community. First and foremost, I'm a husband to Emma, and I'm a father to Oliver and Penelope, and the multi-year chair of your Capital Improvement Committee. Like most good things in life, my story starts right here in Massachusetts. I was born and raised in Dracut, went to college in Worcester, had my first apartment in Waltham, fell in love in Brighton, started my family right here in Hopkinton. It's my love of this state and community that has driven my near decade of service in this town and is part of why I aspire to this position on the Select Board. In my personal life, I have almost 20 years of pharmaceutical leadership experience and technical quality assurance. I know. I'd like you to hear that as I like digging into data and asking questions, and I understand that change happens through collaboration and compromise and not through conquest. Maybe it's that commitment to collaboration and that way of work why multiple department heads, every member of the existing select board, and multiple alumni sign my candidate papers. Because it doesn't matter to me if you're a Democrat or a Republican. What matters to me is whether your ideas and the issues are relevant to Hopkinton and the things that we are discussing around our mutual kitchen tables. Trails, trees, trash. Supporting the excellence of our schools. Recognizing and supporting our emergency response workers, making sure that our water is safe to drink, looking for new revenue sources so that 85% of the town budget doesn't come from the ever-increasing property tax driving a crisis of living expense in our community. These are the issues at the heart of my campaign and reflect the community-centered approach I am looking to take to work with the Select Board on your behalf. My name is Matthew Kisner. Thank you so much for your time and consideration. I hope you continue to give me the opportunity to partner with you to work to make this special place feel like home.
Thank you. Shahidul H. Manan, the incumbent.
Good evening. I'm Shahidul Manan, and I'm truly honored to be here tonight as a candidate for re-election to the Hopkinton Select Board. With over a decade in town governance, my experience includes serving on the Appropriations, that is, Budget and Finance Committee, Planning Board, Growth Study Committee, Community Preservation, School Building, and now Select Board. I am an executive in healthcare tech and AI, have an MBA in finance, and an undergrad in engineering. Over the past 3 years, I have had the privilege of serving our town during a time of growth, challenge, and opportunity. I have worked hard alongside many of you to make progress on clean water and PFAS remediation, to support our schools and public safety teams, and to help move forward key projects like the downtown corridor, the skate park, and now the new elementary school, and also taking steps to create a more inclusive and sustainable town. With new office focused on economic development, equity, and environmental sustainability, all supported through state grants. As an executive, I lead data and AI strategy in major healthcare organizations. I bring that same data-driven practical thinking to town governance, always asking, how do we grow smartly? How do we spend wisely and plan for the long term? But there's more work ahead, especially when it comes to tax pressures, supporting our seniors, and making sure Hopkinton stays a place where everyone can thrive. That's why I'm running again, to keep listening, to keep building, and keep working for you. Thank you for the opportunity to serve. I humbly ask for your vote on May 19, and looking forward to a great conversation tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. For school committee, the 3-year position for the one opening, Nancy Richards Kavanaugh, the incumbent.
Thank you. Good evening. Thank you to the Women's Club for hosting this event as they do every year, and also thank you to HCAM for both broadcasting and recording it. I think I've heard in the past that if HCAM isn't there, did it really happen in Hopkinton? Initially, I ran for school committee in 2016. It has been a great privilege, a great honor. I've seen the district through a lot of ups and downs, but also a lot of tremendous growth, which we are grateful in the town to have been able to grow in so many wonderful ways, but it has put some strain on making sure that we're able to meet all of our kids' needs, but while trying to also focus on the community. A little bit about me. I moved to Hopkinton 27 years ago. Very different town back then, very different school system. I have a master's degree in social work, and professionally I've spent almost my entire career working in mental health. I'm a psychiatric emergency services clinician. I use a little bit of my knowledge from what I get at work in looking at some of the mental health crises that we've seen in our kids, and really trying to take that angle in considering all of our kids and all of the needs that they might have. I am uncontested this year, and I am going to request respectfully for everybody to hope that I have earned your vote and to vote for me and to welcome any questions that people have tonight. So thank you.
Thank you. For school committee, the one-year position, there's one opening. Kyla B. McSweeney, the incumbent.
Hi, my name is Kyla McSweeney. I was appointed to the school committee last July, so I've been serving for 9 months on the school committee. To tell you a little bit about myself, my husband James and I moved here in 2007, and our children were born here, and we're raising them. One is in the 6th grade and one is in the 9th grade of the Hopkinton Public Schools. I have my whole career has been focused on education. I have a bachelor's and master's degree in early childhood education. And I've worked in numerous roles across many different areas in education. Currently, I serve as Director of Comprehensive System Supports at the Massachusetts Department of Early Education and Care. I've been enjoying my time on the school committee so far. One of my most notable accomplishments was being co-chair of the Superintendent Search Committee, where we screened over about 30 applications, interviewed 11 candidates, and brought 3 forward to the school committee for recommendation. Tomorrow we are doing interviews for the Director of Student Services, and that is another big position in town, and we look forward to working with those 2 individuals that we hire to continue and maintain the quality of Hopkinton Public Schools. I think budget is a huge aspect that's facing the school committee as well as the rest of the town in the next couple of years, and I think we have to balance the needs of our community and our schools with the tax implications that our residents are facing. Our school budget is very lean, and we need to make sure that student services are fully funded within those. I also am very interested in celebrating the diversity of Hopkinton and making sure that's represented in our schools. If you heard Hopkinton Principal Bishop say that children often have to choose between being stressed out or celebrating a holiday with their family, and I want to make sure they can do both. Thank you.
Thank you. The next board is the Board of Assessors. It's a 3-year commitment, and there's one opening. I'm going to read a brief statement from Frederick Mayer, who's unable to be here tonight. He sent me his resume. He was on the Board of Assessors for 6 years, from 1986 to 1992. His work experience includes being an investment advisor for Wells Fargo. He's a CFP certified financial planner for 42 years. He has a BS in finance from LSU, 1982. His military service includes the Marine Corps. He was a sergeant in 1974. He was a member of the Hopkinton High School graduating class of 1971. He is currently retired with time on his hands looking to help out. He's a lifelong Hopkinton resident, a townie, and most people know him as Ted. And he says thank you, and he looks forward to your vote. Also running for the position of assessors is Peter M. Mimo, the incumbent.
Thank you and good evening, and thank you to the Women's Club for running this very important event. Thank you for HCAM for making it happen as well. My name is Peter Mimo, and I'm running for re-election on the Board of Assessors. A little bit about myself first. My wife, my 2 sons have lived here in Hopkinton since 2015. We just had a son, we had a son graduate from the high school in 2021. We got another one going through the schools now as a sophomore. Right now he's actually playing in a jazz band performance as we speak. So I'm here, he's there, but in any event, so I'm an attorney. I work for the Commonwealth, and I help enforce our state's civil rights laws, prevent the prevention of discrimination in employment and housing and in public accommodations. But more to the point, I'm also on your Board of Assessors. I was elected in 2022, and I'm asking for your vote for re-election. Just a couple of, well, first of all, what is the Board of Assessors? What exactly is it that we do? And just a couple of quick points about that. We provide oversight to the assessors and the professionals in our town hall. We consider taxpayer applications for exemptions and abatements, and we also help set the town's annual tax rate. I've been honored to be a member of this board since 2022. I was very proud to stand before at the special town meeting last fall to help support and propose the HERO Act, the town adopt the HERO Act. What the HERO Act did in a nutshell, it helped increase the tax exemption, the amount of tax exemptions for our veterans, while also tying it to the cost of living. We helped out our veterans in that respect. We also, as a member of the board during my term, we've also been able to resolve multiple property tax appeals that were pending and sort of tied up in the appellate tax board. What that did as a practical matter is that rather than setting aside millions of dollars that just sort of lay dead, we were able to free that up because we settled that case and free up all this dead money because of that action. We were able to do that. In Hopkinton, we pride ourselves on the quality of our services, and one of the things that we like to do here at the Board of Assessors is make sure that our veterans and our seniors got the exemptions that they deserve. And I ask your vote on May 19th. Thank you.
Thank you. For Planning Board,
Hi there, my name is Amna Dewan. Thank you to Hopkinton's Women's Club for organizing this and for HCAM also for televising this. A little bit about me. I'm an orthopedic trauma surgeon. I've been in practice for a long time. I like to think it's a long time, but I work with patients and families from all sorts of backgrounds. And I've also held various leadership positions in my career, but through it all, I've also given back. And I'd like to continue to give back, particularly to the town I live in and that I love. I think progress is inevitable, and I'd like to use my experience to help Hopkinton progress or guide it as it progresses in a positive way while maintaining the character and the nature of this beautiful town. So I thank you for your support.
so Amna Dewan is running for the 5-year position on the Planning Board, along with Peter Mimo, who's back up here. Thank you.
Well, thank you, and hello again.
You're still Peter?
I'm still Peter, and I'm also evidently a glutton for punishment. I'm going to run for 2 positions in town. In any event, I am running for a planning board as well, and I'll keep it very brief. What I'm hoping to do is take some of the experience I have as an attorney and try to apply that to the planning board and try to look at, hopefully we apply our bylaws fairly, balance the right of developers. I've taken a look at, of course, at our master plan and our growth committee study in 2021. Essentially, what I'm hoping to do is I'm hoping to encourage the type of commercial growth in town that I think would be important, without, of course, compromising our commitment to open space and that sort of thing. So I think that I'm looking for your vote on May the 19th. When I ran for select board last year, one of the things I said was that I would have open office hours, because it's very important that as a candidate for town government that we hear what the needs of the residents are and what they want out of their town government, and certainly I'm here to support that and serve the town in that respect. So I was very excited to see that the select board had adopted or they're looking to establish an economic advisory board, and hopefully we'll be able to take full advantage of things like our Mass Bio Platinum status and perhaps do other things like that to try to encourage the right and the appropriate commercial growth in town. Thank you.
Thank you.
I think I sit down now.
Yes, you sit down. Is it Susan? All right. There's a mix-up because someone didn't RSVP. All right. Parks and Recreation?
No, I'm Board of Health.
So what is your...
I'm the last one.
Yeah. All right, so someone didn't, it's really hard when people don't RSVP. So we're going to go with you. As the Board of Health, Raymond M. Smith is vying for the 3-year position, and there's one opening.
Thank you. Thank you for the Women's Commission for organising this. It's very difficult herding all these people together. And thank you for the TV and showing it. I'm Raymond Malcolm Smith. As you've immediately guessed, I don't originally come from Hopkinton. I'm from the very northeast corner of England, and I've lived in the US now since 2001, so quite a long time. I use Malcolm, not Raymond, so to confuse people, that's the name everybody uses. Right. So I'm a physician. I'm also an orthopedic trauma surgeon. I was trained in the UK, became a consultant in the National Health Service for 9 years before I came here, before I invited to move practice to the US. I ran the trauma service at MGH for 19 years, worked at UMass, and now I'm working throughout the state. I've got quite a broad experience of medicine in general. I worked in Haiti after the earthquake, I've worked in South America, Africa, and I've got overall quite an experience of seeing different elements of healthcare. So I'm standing for the Board of Health position because I've just moved to town and I'm enthusiastic to try and help the town, which is possible, and this seems the right position for somebody like me. I hope that my experience in lots of different things will be useful in that respect, and I do think that managing health by public health is probably more important to prevent disease than treating it. So Board of Health is the right thing for me. Thank you.
Thank you. So Amy Groves is running for the 3-year position. There's one opening for constable.
At last. So I want to thank also HCAM and the Women's Club, not for what you're doing tonight, but for what you do all year round, just to be different, because I mean, we really wouldn't be Hopkinton without you. Thank you. So my name is Amy Groves, and I am running for town constable in an uncontested seat. Now, Hopkinton has 2 different kinds of constables. One is appointed, and those constables are bonded and they serve papers, that sort of thing. But the elected constables post notices. So we post notices to let you know about upcoming elections and upcoming town meetings. We post them at town hall and various locations throughout the town. And as you can imagine, it doesn't take a lot of time to do that compared to some of these other folks. I won't be spending a lot of time if elected. Nevertheless, this is an important job because if we want to engage people and encourage citizen participation, we need to use all the avenues that are available to us. So that is important. It's also required by law. So, I have lived in Hopkinton for over 20 years, and I've been very active in civic affairs. I always participate in local elections and town meetings. I'm the one who puts up the banner every year at the high school tennis courts to advertise the upcoming local elections. I'm vice chair of the Sustainable Green Committee and have helped to push through a number of articles through town meeting. I'm also the one who got the Board of Selectmen changed to the Select Board. I served on the Cultural Council for a few years until the term limits hit me. And so now I'm working on a bootstrap group to create a cultural district all through downtown and beyond. So you can see me at Polyharts, at Hopkinton 101, and outside the middle school on election days. I'm the one with the hat. I took it off for today. So I respectfully ask for your vote, because if I'm elected, I'm going to get a badge.
Thank you, Amy. It's time for the second part of our program, the question and answer segment. If you have a question that hasn't already been submitted, you can email one to live@hcam.tv. Please include your name and address along with your question. Responses from candidates will continue to adhere to the 2-minute time limit. If a question is posed to a specific candidate, I'll offer response time to all others running for that office as well. Lastly, the privilege of being the first person to answer will begin alphabetically and rotate as subsequent questions are asked. So we're ready for the first question. Anyone from the audience have a question? Now's your big opportunity. All right, I'll go with the ones that have been sent in to HCAM. The first question, and this is for the Select Board candidates. Could you please list all your volunteer positions in town or out, and do you regularly vote in town in presidential elections? This is from Beth Malloy, 190 Lumber Street, Hopkinton. So we'll start with Mr. Doyle.
Thanks for the question. From a volunteer standpoint, I do a lot of running for the Live for Evan charity, and that is the majority of my volunteer work to try to continue to support the charity there. Back in town for probably about 2 years and getting back to voting now. I have not been at either of the town elections. We had our first child around the last one, and I believe the one before was on my honeymoon, so I look forward to getting more involved, and this is my first foray into it.
Thank you. Matthew Kisner?
Sure. So, too low for me. There. Oh, so much better. So for myself, my volunteer work is I'm currently the chair of the Capital Improvements Committee, which I have been for a number of years. This is actually our busy season. I don't know if you're aware, but we're wrapping up the fiscal budget for you all to see at annual town meeting. Don't worry, it's going to go great. No issues or questions, I'm sure. I've been on the committee now for almost 6 years, and I've been the chair for more than half of that, and I was on zoning advisory before that. There is not a single year that I have lived in this community that I have not been a member of the town government, and I'm proud to continue that service tradition regardless of your support in the upcoming election. In terms of voting, boy, if you've been to town meeting, you've seen this face before. I come up, I talk, I have thoughts, and I'm trying to talk to you about numbers, fiscal discipline, capital planning, and a little bit about the philosophy and values in the town. But I think it's fair to describe myself as an active and engaged participant, both as a volunteer and a member of our functioning government at annual town meeting. And I'm absolutely a routine voter in our local and national elections. When able. I, too, have small children who take more of my time than I would like to admit.
Thank you. Jahuda Manon?
Thank you for the question. I'll have to remember all the boards and committees I have served. So since I moved here, right after, I think 6 months or in a year, as soon as I was eligible, I joined the boards, and so did my wife, to the health board. And I've joined the appropriations while managing and overseeing the budget and finance for almost 7 years. Then planning board, then growth study committee, community preservation, school building recently, and now select board for the last 3 years. And I'm happy and proud to be involved in such a great community, and it's been very rewarding, and I also feel like always giving back, so this was a great opportunity. And I believe that it's wonderful that a town like ours runs on volunteers, like everyone here and beyond. And I felt fascinated coming here and seeing that, and immediately joined, and hope to continue with your vote on May 19. Now, in terms of my vote, again, I've been voting pretty much all along. I don't remember missing any. Town vote, state, national, all the votes, attending all the town meetings, and I enjoy it. I think it's a civic responsibility, and as a resident, this is the greatest impact as a resident we can collectively do. Our town meeting is the legislative body of the town. We approve together as neighbors our budget, everything we want to see in our zone, everything we want to see in our town improvement. So it's so critical, and I love doing it, and I hope to get the opportunity to continue doing it. Thank you.
I'm going to ask you 3 candidates to stay there because the next question is for you and also for the school committee right afterwards. So this question is from Kristen Turner, 89 South Mill Street. And a question, both the select board and school committee have budget oversight and/or budget approval authority as key part of their responsibility. As we all know, the vast majority of Hopkinton's revenue is generated through property taxes, and the town is facing an uncertainty with future projected budget shortfalls. With that in mind, it is vital that every property owner supports the town financially. Can each select board and school committee candidate confirm that they are not past due on any Hopkinton tax bill?
Oh, thank God. I thought you were going to ask me a technical question about the budget. Yeah, absolutely. I pride myself on paying my bills and as being an upstanding member of the community, as I would expect any of the rest of us do.
Yes, same. Up to date with taxes.
My dog's got his license.
Yep, dog also has renewed license. Connor can confirm. I saw him the other day.
We're both looking back.
Same here. I pay regularly, and actually it's automated. Part of my escrows, it just goes from my bank. I don't even see it. I just see the numbers going down. But I'm happy and
You just see the decline in the number.
Yeah.
Thank you, school committee members.
So we just built a new house 2 years ago, so our property tax has gone way up, and my husband now marches down to pay his taxes, I think, in person.
Thank you, Kyla McSweeney and Nancy Richards Kavanaugh.
So I will admit my dog license is overdue.
Oh, boy.
New dog, but we do pay our taxes annually, and we'll have finished paying our taxes for this fiscal year by the deadline at the end of June. So,
Thank you. The next question is for the Board of Health candidates. Candidate 1, Malcolm Smith. This is from Caitlin Terrell, 24 Ash Street. She also happens to be my daughter. I'm a little nervous about Public school students in Massachusetts are required to have MMR shots, but can be exempt for religious reasons. With the recent spread of measles in various parts of the U.S., will you enforce the policy at Hopkinton schools that unvaxxed students must stay home if there's an outbreak here?
If you ask my personal opinion, I think you have to follow whatever the law is in the state. I think it's critically important that we protect everybody from dangerous diseases, and measles is a critically dangerous disease. So yes, if you're unvaccinated and there's an outbreak, you shouldn't come to school.
Thank you. Phew. All right. This one is for the school committee, so we'll give you a rest. This is an 8-year resident of Hopkinton with children in the schools who wishes to remain anonymous. Ms. Kavanaugh.
Yes.
You've been on the school committee since 2016 and are now running for a 4th term, which would bring your total service to 12 years. While public service is admirable, many in our community believe that holding a seat for this long has, I think I'm going to just read the end of it. So at what point, I don't think I'm going to read this. It's anonymous, and it seems a little inappropriate.
That's okay. I would just respond to the piece that I sense coming to it, which is that this is my 4th term. I am uncontested, so I would like to think that I am filling both a need for the community, but also it is a passion of mine. And if somebody had stepped forward to run against me, that certainly would have been, I would have invited them to do so. This, for people who are wondering, because I do still have one child in the 9th grade, this will be my last term seeking election on the school committee. So.
Thank you for answering that. I don't think you need to answer the question.
I can say it's been a pleasure working with Nancy. She is currently chair of the school committee, and she executes that position with a lot of intelligence and experience.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For the planning board and board of assessor candidates, so recently the state passed allowing ADUs on single-family properties. Article 31 at our upcoming annual town meeting is to amend zoning bylaw for ADU units, limiting the size of these dwellings to 50% of principal dwelling, or 900 square feet, or whichever is smaller, given that the average square foot home in Hopkinton is 2,430 square feet, many much larger with ample buildable lots. As a supporter of multi-generational living opportunities, do you support limiting the size of these to only 900 square feet maximum? And that's, and we'll start with Peter Mimo.
I think that, the growth has to be helped managed responsibly in general. I think that as far as a particular question, I think that, this is something that I'm going to have to study. And I think that to get into this particular level of detail, frankly, is something that I think that is going to require additional study for me to really give a comprehensive answer to that. As I said, I think that, my focus, I think, that as running for a candidate is I would really like to focus on greater commercial growth if I can, but certainly it's worthy of greater discussion and something that needs to be looked at.
Okay. And Amna Dewan?
Yeah, I agree with Peter. I think it's a good question. I think it's a valid question. I don't think it's easy to answer. We'd have to talk more about it, learn more about it, so we can give an appropriate answer that makes sense. And, maintain the character and nature of our town while helping to provide for everybody in it.
Thank you. Peter Mimo, you can stay up as running for Board of Assessors. This question is, will ADU units be taxed as one property hosting multiple dwellings, or will each dwelling be taxed separately? And how will these be assessed for property values, as one bundle or two properties?
Again,
And
a highly technical question. I'd imagine that, this is why that as a member of the Board of Assessors, I provide civilian oversight to our highly professional and technical assessors in town. As far as, I would only have to hazard a guess as to whether or not it'd be taxed along the lines of whether it's a single unit or on the other method that was described there. I can tell you that with respect to the professional staff we have in town, they assess the properties quite well, and they apply the law, as I've seen it for the last 3 years, quite professionally, and so I would have no doubt that they would do so again in this instance as well.
Thank you. Those questions and this additional question for the Board of Health candidate are from Darlene Hayes, 1/3 Road in Hopkinton. So your question, Raymond Smith, is, we moved to Hopkinton 30 years ago. At that time, the population was just over 10,000 residents. And now, 30 years later, the population is now doubled, but the makeup of the Board of Health hasn't changed and still has only 3 members. Would you support increasing the size of the Board of Health?
Yes.
Thank you for your answer.
It seems to me that it's appropriate that there's more than 3 members. It adds more spectrum and diversity to the group and allows more discussion. So yes.
Thank you. Any questions from the audience? Any other email questions? Last chance. Okay. With the completion of all questions, it's time to offer the candidates a final opportunity to address the audience with closing statements. Once again, there's a 2-minute time limit, and we'll use the program again, but the order of speakers is reversed. So the first speaker for constable, the 3-year position, where you can vote for 1, is Amy Groves.
Hi, Amy Groves here again, running for town constable. Just want to use a little bit of time to make sure that you all know, all of you out in TV land as well, that in this election, the town clerk has told me that there will be no early in-person voting. So you need to plan ahead. That means that if you think that you can't be here on May 19th to vote at the middle school, then what you want to do is get on your phones right after this event is over, not during, right after, grab your phone, go to the Secretary of State website, and ask for a ballot to be mailed to you. You'll do a mail-in ballot. But you're going to need to do it now because you need to allow for time, back and forth in the mail. But definitely I want you to vote. I want your vote counted. And I thank you for voting, and please vote for me.
Thank you. Next, Board of Health for the 3-year position, where you can vote for 1, Raymond Malcolm Smith.
Thank you. I'd like to thank yourself and all the candidates. It's actually a pleasure meeting a lot more people in Hopkinton. We haven't been here this long. I'm really looking forward to contributing to the community, and I hope that you'll support me in my application for Board of Health. Thank you.
Thank you. Planning Board, 5-year commitment. You can vote for 2. We'll hear from Peter Mimo first.
Oh. Well, thank you again for hosting tonight's event, and I do hope that, again, I'm running for Planning Board, and I'm hoping to bring some of that experience I've had so far with the assessors and show the commitment to this community. I do hope that I've earned your vote, and I do hope that, in the years to come, that we work together and try to put together a greater sort of emphasis on hopefully commercial growth in town, and that's one of the things I hope to bring to the Planning Board. Please, and no matter what you do, no matter who you vote for, who you want to vote for, please come out and vote. I encourage all of us to do that. We're a stronger community if we come out to vote. Thank you.
Thank you. Amna Dewan, who's running for the other position, 5-year position on the Planning Board.
Thank you to everybody thank you for hosting, and for everybody for being here and watching on TV. I'm sure it's late for a lot of people. It's nice to be part of this community. It's a privilege. Appreciate your vote, and please come out and vote. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's see, Board of Assessors. Peter is back.
I've had the pleasure for serving this town for 3 years as a member of your Board of Assessors. It's been an honor. I thoroughly enjoy working with the board. One of the things that we do, when we hear from taxpayers who come into who want to advance their applications for tax exemptions or tax abatements, one of the things I like to do, sort of making sure we're getting past the technical aspect of, is making sure that those taxpayers are heard, that we're engaged. And I take great pride in the fact that that's something that we do. Each and every time that we have a taxpayer who advances that they believe that their property has been overvalued, or that they believe that we misapplied an exemption, they have to be heard, and at a minimum, that's something that we do, and I take great pride in the fact that we've done so. I ask for your vote on May 19th. I'm a glutton for punishment. I want to go for 2 of these positions, and I do hope that you vote and consider voting for me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Peter Mimo. Next up is Kyla McSweeney, the incumbent, who's running for the 1-year position for school committee, where you can vote for 1.
Thanks again to the Women's Club and HCAM for hosting us tonight. It's been a great time to get to be able to talk to people. I am asking for your vote on May 19th for school committee. I'm filling out a term, so I'm only running for 1-year seat at this point, but I have had a pleasure of serving on the school committee for the past 9 months and have a lot more work that I would like to accomplish, especially seeing through our new superintendent and our new director of student services, as well as the school building projects that we are embarking on right now. I am an alternate on the elementary school building committee, as well as also working with our Special Education Parent Advisory Council and the Sustainable Green Committee as well. So I thank you all, and I look forward to seeing you all on Election Day.
And for school committee, running for the 3-year position, the 1 opening, Nancy Richards Kavanaugh, the incumbent.
Great. Thank you so much to everybody who's here in person and people who are watching from home, also to the Women's Club and HCAM. I am excited to have the opportunity to serve Hopkinton again. Obviously, there may be people who have questions about why I've run so many times. I'm happy to talk. Anybody who wants to reach out to me, my contact information is available through the district website, and I invite anybody who would like to talk, has questions about anything. I'm passionate about the schools, I'm passionate about the town, and would welcome that from anybody. Whether you agree with me or you don't on any particular issues, I feel like I stand for the town, I stand for the students, so I want to hear from everybody. But also, I appreciate this process. I appreciate there are so many people who are passionate about our town that want to stand up and volunteer and give their time and their commitment and their expertise. So thank you, and I would humbly ask for your support at the polls at annual town election in May. Thank you.
Thank you. For select board, we'll start with Shahida Manon.
Thanks again for being here and for taking the time to participate in this wonderful democratic process. Thanks to all the candidates here for stepping forward to serve. Thanks to Hopkinton Women's Club and HCAM for organizing tonight's event, which is our legacy and a legendary event now. I've said this before, and I truly believe it. Local government is where we can make the most impact. Over the past 3 years, we have made meaningful progress, not just in big projects, but in how we serve and support one another as community. From hiring a new town manager, new fire chief, deputy police chief, and stabilizing leadership and retention across departments, to supporting our schools and seniors, to addressing clean water and economic development, we have done it through collaboration and hard work. And that's what I will continue to bring to the table. I care deeply about Hopkinton. I care about your voices. I care about your neighborhoods, your families, and the future we are all building together. If re-elected, I promise to keep showing up, listening, and leading with integrity and transparency. I respectfully ask for your vote on May 19, and I hope to continue serving this wonderful community and our great town. Thank you, and have a great night.
Thank you. The next candidate for select board, Matthew T. Kisner.
Thank you. First and foremost, I will continue to speak from the heart. I don't know how to do it any other way, much to my potential detriment. I'd like to wrap here by first recognizing the most important person in my world, and she's not here tonight, and that would be my wife. But she's home with our 2 children right now, my youngest 15 months and my oldest, Ollie, Dad loves you, but this is enough extra TV and it's officially bedtime now, who's 4.5 and up watching this tonight. What I hope you've heard if you're meeting me for the first time or if you already knew me and didn't know where I stood on some issues is a passionate man who's been involved and committed to our town's growth and government since the moment that he got here. I am deeply interested in the budgetary process, the workings of our town, our upcoming capital expenditures, and the decisions that we've made to get here. I have a strong knowledge of many of these processes, having chaired the committee in town for a number of years, and I have strong working relationships with many of the people both on the select board and in existing town committees. But more than that, I have an authentic interest in making this town great. And I know that can be a loaded phrase right now, so I will try to refine it and say it this way. I chose Hopkinton. I don't have the luxury of having been born here, although we got Massachusetts right, so it's close enough. But I chose this community because it was special. It has an aesthetic and character that is something that if it wasn't where I lived every day would be Rockwellian if you described it. But it's real, and I'm still here. And the values of this town and its character and the people who live here, they're the stuff that I used to get to watch on TV. And I don't say it to wax poetic or to try and be overly deferential or even overly cheery about the town. This is a great place where people come together and advocate for common interests. They invest in their community, they develop their schools, and they take care of their seniors. That's a town and a community I'm so proud to represent and to live in, and I hope I continue to have the opportunity to do so with your vote and support in this coming election. Thank you so much again.
Thank you. And the third candidate for the 3-year position with 2 openings is Jeffrey Doyle.
Thank you again to the Women's Club for putting this on, and thank you for everybody for attending and watching online. Thank you, Mom, for babysitting so that my wife could join tonight and get out of the house. I appreciate it. If you can't tell by my outfit, I take a lot of pride in being from Hopkinton. As soon as I left, I had already planted the seed as about a 9-year-old with a bunch of my friends' parents that I would be buying their houses. And eventually, on the day that me and my now wife got engaged, one of those opportunities came to light with a quick text to come check out a showing at a house and with the opportunity to move back to town. So I'm a product of our schools, very fortunate to have had the education that I had and grow up in the community that I did. My goal is to continue to enable the town to behave in that way and have great schools, have a great community, and be a great spot to live for the next 100 years. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, Jeffrey Doyle. Last but not least, for town clerk, the 3-year position, 1 opening, Connor B. Deegan.
Thank you, Kathy. I would definitely at this point be remiss if I didn't stop to say thank you to my own parents for watching my son, who is 9 months old and is probably in a cranky mood and tired right by this point, as my wife is busy working. But I think that really is a key to me with this, is I want to continue making Hopkinton, the place that I grew up, a place that can be a really wonderful place for my own son to grow up and for my family to continue to grow and thrive. And I hope, in the time that I have worked with all of you, I recognize so many faces around this room and behind me, and I'm honored to share this stage with all of these people. And I look forward to continuing to be able to work with all of you to continue making Hopkinton a great place and an even better place going forward. Thank you very much, and please, as Amy said, make sure that you make a plan to vote, and make sure that you, if you can, get out to vote on May 19th, and I'll see you there at the polls, hopefully at some point or another.
Thank you, Connor. On behalf of the Hopkinton Women's Club, I want to extend a special thank you to all the candidates who participated in this evening's program and to all the at-home viewers for joining us tonight. I also want to acknowledge the HCAM TV staff and crew, especially Mike Terosian, for making this broadcast possible. Their expertise and patience is especially invaluable to me. Additional thanks goes out to the Women's Club committee members, the 2 high school students who volunteered, and the town clerk's office. I hope this presentation was informative, and I encourage every registered voter to cast a ballot in our upcoming town election on May 19th. All Hopkinton precincts vote at the middle school between the hours of 7 a.m. and 8 p.m. Absentee ballots are available at the town clerk's office. So thank you, everyone, and good night.